What's going on, my friends? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today. A Litecoin right now, we're sitting at $259.27. We're down about 0.8%. What I want to do is piggyback off the last Litecoin video that we ended up doing. And what we were looking at were some of these support areas, guys. And one of the main reasons I always talk about limit buy orders, so putting them at these support areas off moving averages, they can be so beneficial for you. So when we were looking up here, when we hit our third target of 307, I started talking about looking at some of these lower areas if we do end up getting some retracement, because we started to stall out here a little bit. And what we were looking at first was around $271. We pushed down through that. The next area was 238, and this is the key area that we need to hold. So the reason why I say this is our previous high. This was our overhead resistance. We broke up through that on a strong candle. Now what we've actually done is back test that area. So this is the area that we need to hold, in my opinion. You can see we have a long wick down there. We're going to have to wait for the daily candle close to see what's actually going on. But this is almost like a hammer candle here. Really long wick down to that 238. And you see, guys, even when you put stuff down there, say you would have put it at 238 or so, look at your position already. Now you're up almost $20 off one coin alone. So these things can be so beneficial for you. Putting them at support, resistance areas, different type of moving averages. Those are the things that are really going to help you. And always look for these longer wicks. That's a telltale sign that most likely we're going to cool down. So what we're looking for now in the days and weeks to come is a strong bounce out of here. If we don't get a strong bounce out of here, most likely it's going to look something like this here, guys. Okay, so we'll go up to an area like this, and then we'll have another flush down. Then we'll have to see where we find support. So that is the bearish case. The bullish case is we're going to go up here and we're going to set another higher high. So let me clear this stuff off just for a second here so I can show you. Okay, so if we get that out of the way, we're going to grab our drawing tool again. Now, the bullish case would be that we do something like this here. So we would come up, maybe come back down again, and then we would finally make that high and see if we can get up to roughly about $377. Okay, but now we're looking at 271 as overhead resistance. We're looking at 307 as overhead resistance. Then we're looking up to around 377 for overhead resistance. So we have to have a plan for both ways, guys. So whether it goes up or down, you have to have a plan. If it goes down, do you want to buy more? Do you want to get out of your position? If it goes up, what are you going to do? Those are the things that you have to have planned out in this space. So when we look at the technical analysis, it is still showing a buy signal on the 1-day time frame. We have a 4 sell, a 10 neutral, and a 12 buy. Oscillators 1 sell, 9 neutral, and a 1 buy. Moving averages 3 sell, 1 neutral, and an 11 buy. And the reason why we have that, you can see we're still fighting to stay up above our 20 EMA, which would be good if we could get a candle close up above that today. So right in this range, want to stay up above that. We're up above the 50, the 100, and the 200. Now, before we get back to Litecoin, one thing I wanted to point out here, Litecoin is specifically based off Bitcoin, so we must pay attention to Bitcoin. And what I want to do is bring up the rainbow chart and show you exactly where we're at right now, because I believe this is one of the most trustworthy charts that you should pay attention to. So right now, the area that we're in, we're basically in the territory of, is this a bubble for Bitcoin? Typically for these market cycles, we're going to get up into the red or even higher. You can see back in 2013, we got up above this red, and the red says maximum bubble territory. So I want to go through the colors here. So blue at the bottom, when you see price at that level, it says basically a fire sale. The next level up is going to be buy. Then in green, it's accumulate. Then another green, it's still cheap. So up into this range. The yellow is going to be hodl. So that's below right now where we're at. And then we're in right now. We just dropped out of FOMO intensifies down back to, is this a bubble? So we're between, is this a bubble, and FOMO intensifies. After that, we get the lighter red, and that's going to be sell, seriously sell, and then bright red up top is going to be maximum bubble territory, and that's where a lot of people are going to be selling out completely of their cryptocurrencies, waiting for the entire bear market to shake out, which can be a year to 2 years, and then they're going to do this again. So this is the time when you really want to accumulate. When you see us down in the blue here, when we're up in the red, this is when you want to sell. So we're not up in the red right now. We're just really in that area of, is this a bubble? Because everybody's looking for the top right now, me included. I'm looking for the top. I'm anticipating one more big euphoric push, just like we had back in here. Okay, so you can see the area that we were at before when we were here is about $8,000, and we ended up going up to $20,000. So we do have to be aware that we can almost double from where we're at this range right now. The very top range would put us roughly, if we hit the red, guys, about 137,000 to 150,000. That's where, a lot of my targets are. I believe we're going to make it to about 100 to 150,000 in terms of the upside. That's kind of my projections. On the low end, if we underperformed, it was 75,000 for Bitcoin. If we hit right about where I was thinking, it'd be $100,000. Then if we overperform a little bit, maybe about 150 to 175, right in that range. But you can see here where we're at, guys, we still have not maxed out. We have not gotten up into that red, and even in 2013, we got higher than the red. I don't know if we'll do that this time, but we still have more room to go. Could we sell off for a little while longer? Absolutely, but in terms of the macro bull market, I do not believe we're done yet, and that's just my opinion. I want you to put down low if you believe we're done yet, or if you believe we still have a little bit more time. But these are the things that we want to watch as we're looking at Litecoin, because Bitcoin's going to be the driver of that space. So right now, what you can see is our relative strengths at about 55, so we've definitely cooled down. We have room for another leg up. And guys, the main thing we want to continue to see here, so here's a higher high, higher high, higher high, right? And then you can see higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. We want this to be our higher low so we can swing back up and set that higher high. And one thing in this space, never chase. A lot of people, when we were up in here, I saw a lot of messages, should I buy, should I buy? As you never want to buy when the relative strength's up around 76 on a coin. Yeah, it could go up to 90, but you don't want to get caught with your pants pulled down, okay? Because these dips and retracements are always going to happen. And you can see this retracement that we had was 41%. This retracement that we had was 38%. The one that we're currently in right now is about 30%. So we could still go down another 10% if we have an even bigger retracement. Another 10% down would put us roughly at another support area of about 233. Not saying we have to go there, but we want to watch what type of volume we have when we push up here, see if we're going to get another slam or if this is the area we're going to find that local bottom. Now, if we get into a few indicators, I want to point some things out for you here. We're going to take a look at our stock RSI. The stock is at 10 and 40, so that's good. You know, we're not in that overbought territory like we were up here when we were at 95 and 98. Many times that will give you the sign. Right here, guys, candlestick pattern, okay? Almost a shooting star candle at resistance. These are the warnings, right? And then now what we're looking to see is if we can find a hammer candle when the day closes at support. Okay, so we have room now. And that's at least the nice thing. We're not, up at $335 and our relative strengths up at, the 80s and 90s. We wouldn't have much room to go higher. So now what we're doing is breathing so that we can potentially get another pump to the upside. Because when we take a look at Litecoin here, guys, and I want to go into a full screen effect for you. And also, if you get some from these videos, you like the way I break it down, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you ever want to help this channel out, I got addresses for Litecoin and a bunch of different coins in the description box. And anyone who has ever donated this channel, I really want to thank you, and I appreciate that. So what you can see here, guys, is we really have not gotten this euphoria top where we go straight up. You can see last bull market we went straight up at the end. You can see this one where we went straight up. Basically, we have not got that straight up pull yet. What this price action over here looks like is a little bit more in this area that you'd see before we get one major blow off top, if that's going to be the case this time, guys. Markets can always change. They don't have to follow the same exact things. Many times they do. The 4-year market cycle will repeat itself, but that's what I'm looking for, that huge euphoria top on maximum climax volume, and that to me is going to point to the end of the bull market, and I don't believe we're there yet. That's just my opinion. I want you to put down low if you think we're still in a bull market, if you think everything's going to be okay, we're just having a natural retracement, we're going to go higher, or if you think this is the end for Litecoin here. And you can also see in the macro sense, if we were able to draw a trend line here, our trend is still up. And we've had this massive W pattern here. So once we do break out through the all-time high of roughly, we'll call it close to $400, like $375 on the close. Once we break through that, that is going to be blue sky breakouts, and that's when price discovery happens, and that's when things can get really exciting. If you think about Bitcoin here, guys, when it broke $20,000, it ended up going to over $60,000. You know what I'm saying? So that's the power of those blue sky breakouts, and that's what we want to pay the closest attention to. But I would love to hear down low what your thoughts are on Litecoin. Do you feel like we're going to go higher? I want to do a poll today for everybody. I'm still feeling good about Litecoin. We'll click on that. 100% of people are saying good. We have to pay attention to the volume. We're at 9.7, I believe, guys. Yes, 9.7 billion right now. Overall market cap is roughly going to be at 17.4 billion. And you can see our price is at $260 right now. Litecoin is on 379,000 watch lists. So that's pretty impressive there, guys, that that many people are paying attention to Litecoin. And then our Bitcoin dominance, we're at 51.6. And what I wanted to show you on the Bitcoin dominance, this is pretty interesting here. I was looking at this yesterday, if I can find it. Okay, so here's our Bitcoin dominance. You can see how we've just been moving down here, right? And that's what we want for altcoins to be able to pick up. So what I want to do is put on Litecoin. So we're going to have Bitcoin and Litecoin together here. And you can see Litecoin, guys, really has not made that huge a move yet against Bitcoin. It's starting right here. You can see how it's starting to want to go up, but we've had this massive, massive downtrend, and now we're trying to get back up here. And that's what can get exciting for us. So I really believe in terms of LTC, BTC, we're very undervalued. And that's just my opinion. If we bounce back out here and we go into Litecoin one more time, thing I wanted to show you here, and this is pretty interesting. So if we just do the BTC chart like this, you can see, guys, let's do a big screen there. All right, so take a look at this downtrend. Guys, it's just been coming in, and now look at all this heavy volume down in this accumulation area here. So I think LTC BTC still has a lot of room to run. We haven't had any of these massive spikes up yet, and that's what happens for Litecoin. It just will explode against Bitcoin when it does end up going. But you can see here, price has been going down, volume's going up. I think big things are going to happen on the LTC BTC chart in the weeks and months ahead for us. So that's what I want to bring to you guys. Hopefully you get some from this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. God bless each and every one of you. Take care, my friends.